What happens when we die? Is there an afterlife? Do we go to heaven? Or even worse, hell? Can we communicate with the dead? And if we can, should we? Let's find out.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 11 of San Pedro Paranormal. Here with my co-host again, Carlos, over, what do you call it, Google Duo?
Over Google Duo, yes.
Google Duo.
Yes, we're not using Zoom because there's too many security problems.
Yeah, and you know what? My wife has been using Zoom for school, and I think all the students are using it, so it's been having a lot of issues. But,
yeah, they're having issues with security, which a lot of people have done conferencing calls, and supposedly there's hackers or Zoom has very low security, so these videos are now out on the internet, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, guys, but today's episode is going to be on dreams and premonitions. Well, actually, mostly dreams, right, Carlos? We're going to be talking about dreams. Why we dream, if dreams have meanings, things like that. And we're going to be telling some of our personal experiences, and also, like stuff we've researched online or through books. But so how have you been, Carlos? How was your week, Carlos? Good.
It's been an adventure here around all this little area here of the house, so it's good.
Yeah.
Just keeping everything tidy, putting up some new things here and there in the house.
Yeah.
It's good. Just staying positive.
Yeah, that's all we could do.
Mm-hmm. That's all we can do.
Yeah, you know what? I've been starting to get a little bit of cabin fever, which is kind of weird because like I said on the last video, I'm used to being at home. But now it's just I'm starting to get a little anxious, like I need to get out of here.
Yeah, because now it's not up to you. It's not the control is not you anymore.
Yeah.
You got to go out there for more walks or do something. Drive a car around.
I did. I actually went for a walk today. Yeah. So why don't we get started with today's topic?
Yeah.
So you know what? First of all, I want to do an honorable mention to a friend of mine. That he's the one that actually gave me the idea to do this episode on dreams. His name is George, and he lives in New Mexico. But we've been friends for a long time. But I was talking to him a few days ago, and we were talking about the last episode we did, which was what was the last episode we did? I already forgot. Because we did 2 episodes. We did one on UFOs. And then we did
the movie Entity.
Yeah, the Entity case.
Yeah, the Entity case.
Yeah. So we were talking about that, and he started telling me about something that happened to him a long time ago. I think it was I want to say 15 years ago. That he used to work at a restaurant, and there was actually a woman at the restaurant that she did I guess magic, not magic, but she was like kind of psychic, I guess. And he had a dream where he was driving his car and there was a baby in the back seat, and he doesn't have any kids, but there was a baby in the back seat, and then he said he was driving down the street, and all of a sudden I guess he started getting shot, and I guess he got away and he was okay, and he looked in the back seat to make sure the baby was okay, and that was it. So he was kind of why did I have a dream about this? That's kind of weird. So he ended up going to work the next day, and he told the lady about it. And the lady's all like, "Oh, well, that just means that you're not gonna have kids." And so he brought it up when we were talking, because he thought about it what, I never had kids. So he never had kids. So he thinks it was actually that she told she read the dream. But he said there was other stuff too that she would say about other people when they would say something, and she would say "Oh yeah, you're gonna have a baby boy soon," and it would happen. So so that's when he's like, you know what, you should do an episode on dreams, because that's universal. Everybody dreams, and I think we all have that curiosity. If why did I? You always ask yourself, why did I dream this? And I mean, I know a lot of the times it's just because of stuff you're going through in life, and you'll be able to relate it real easily. But sometimes the dreams are just, they make no sense. So, but yeah, but Carlos, you said you read a book on it, right? It was what was the name of the book?
No, I didn't read a book on it.
Oh no, you saw a video or something?
Right, I was watching a video on YouTube, and I did a little bit of reading online, and from the past too. I have read a few or gone through a couple of books, but usually at the old bookstores back in the day.
Okay.
But mostly I got some information on there, and it's a very good video. We'll link it in the description later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll put the title of the book.
Yep. Okay.
So what was this? Was this book about is this book about does it tell you what dreams mean, or is it more of an explanation of why we dream, or?
Well, usually, I mean, dreams usually mean something. When you ask somebody, it's pretty much up to the person what they mean. Basically, it's very subjective, isn't it? You ask a scientist or you ask somebody that's very spiritual, you always get different outcomes. So this video on YouTube goes pretty much through the science behind dreaming, all the different phases of dream when you go to sleep at night, what these different phases do. And then towards the end of it, that's when it goes into the REM sleep and what is happening in REM sleep. Most of the time, people have nightmares. It's usually it's something negative versus positive.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much that's what happens during REM sleep. And I have a lot of notes here, so I gotta organize a little bit better here.
Yeah, you know what? I actually had a dream not too long ago. I don't know if I told you about it, but in this dream, those dreams that you have that seem like it seems real. Like you wake up and sometimes how sometimes I don't know if you've ever had a dream where in the dream you have like a bunch of money, and then you wake up and you're like checking to see if you have that money, but Yeah, but
I had dreams where I had a bunch of bills, and I would go home and I'd sit underneath my pillow in my bed, and I wake up and become
Yeah, but you know what? This dream was different because I had this dream about a person. It was an ex-girlfriend, and I hadn't seen this person in, I want to say, like a long time, like 15, maybe 13, 15 years. And so I had the dream about this person, and that next day we went to Del Amo Mall, and we were going, by where Book Off is at, where they have the big escalator. And I came out of Book Off because I buy movies and stuff. And when I came out, I saw this person that I saw in my dream. And she looked at me and I looked at her, and I looked at her more like in shock, because I was like, for a moment there I thought, am I still dreaming? Like, am I awake? And she looked at me in shock too. And you know what? I was very curious to ask her, like, did you dream something? Just because of that curiosity. And but I didn't say anything. And even my wife, she was right behind me, and she looked at me and she's like, "What's wrong?" Because it was just that shock, like, what the. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be coincidence.
Who knows? Yeah, coincidence. I mean, what are the chances of that happening though?
Yeah.
You don't see that person
exactly.
for so long. You dream that person, and right away you see that person. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've had that on occasion too. Nothing too detailed like yours, but I can say that I've had like that also.
Yeah, but I mean, you said, and you know what? You've said you had dreams of that out of body dream you had. What was it?
Oh yeah, that's something different. Yeah, this is an out of body experience, and actually, I don't think this has anything to do with the stages of dreaming and all that, is it? I think it's out of this.
Well, you know what? Maybe because I mean, you can't say 100% that you weren't dreaming, right? It could have.
Right. It just felt so real. So here's the setup. I was taking a long nap on my sofa, and I had my cell phone on my chest, and I guess I slept with it. So I suddenly woke up, and I kind of grabbed it and I put it away. And then I got out, but instead of everything being in color or really dark, like at night, 10 o'clock, 11 is pretty dark.
Yeah.
Everything is more like grayscale, black and white, like an old black and white film.
Okay.
And but I'm still feeling like, oh, this is whatever. That doesn't really faze me at all. I'll just go around the coffee table, and then as I'm walking almost away from the living room where the sofa is, I look towards my body, and for some reason, something doesn't let me see my body for whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's trying to protect me, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I hear these voices, but further out in the distance or so, whatever. So anyways, I'm like, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. I'm just going to go upstairs. And as I'm walking towards the steps, everything starts getting a little darker and a little darker. And finally, I go around the corner, jump into my bed that's upstairs. And as soon as I get into my bed, I just wake up like this, and I'm on the sofa again. I'm like, what is going on here? What just happened?
It's almost when when you see those YouTube videos where they edit, where they jump into something and then they're like somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
What a dream.
Jump, right? Like a little time jump.
Yeah.
But I'm back on the sofa, and my cell phone's right there on the side. I'm like, what happened? Yeah. This is just insane.
That's what they call the out of body, right?
Yeah.
The out of body experience.
Yes.
You know what? I actually tried that when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And this was back when I want to say in I think junior high school. And I went to the public library. I used to look for a lot of books on ghosts and all that stuff. And I actually found this book again on Google Books. It's called Training, out of body training or something like that. Mm-hmm. And this book it tells you how to how to meditate and how to lay down and sleep with in a certain position to have an out of body experience.
Oh, neat.
And I actually did it. I remember doing it, and it worked. I fell asleep, and back then we used to live in a 2-story home, and the thing is, I woke up. Well, I thought I was awake, but I was sleeping, and I started like seeing the ceiling of the ceiling inside the room, like getting closer to me. So I knew I was kind of floating up. So at first I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, I was like, this is cool. But then, I went through the ceiling, and I was outside. So at that moment I started kind of freaking out, like,
panicked.
I panicked. I was like, oh crap, like how am I gonna get back down? There's nothing to hold on to. So I just started elevating until my heartbeat was racing, and like you said, all of a sudden I was back in my bed.
Right.
So I don't know if it works or if it was just my imagination playing
But it felt real.
It felt real. It felt real, and it was funny to go through the ceiling and then just see the sky and everything. It was trippy.
And okay, that's amazing. I haven't had one of those before, but I heard of people doing the whole levitation thing, and after a certain while, they have some sort of anxiety or they panic, and that's what brings them back down to.
And you know what? I think in this book it also talked about how that there was a danger to it. Like if you stayed out of your body too long, there was a chance that you wouldn't come back.
In that movie, what is it? Is it Insidious, where you can be replaced?
Oh yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
That's right, but that was more like hypnotism, right? Like they were hypnotized or something. Yeah, but it said something about that, like you don't want to stay too long because then you might get lost, like a lost spirit, I guess. And I don't know what would happen to your body. It would be like Insidious. Another person goes in there.
That's what I've read too, where you do an out of body, and if you're not that strong, you don't have enough strength, that something can push out to the side and take over your body.
You know what? That's almost like I don't know if you've heard about this. They have what is it? You know how a lot of people like to do meditation, where they'll sit down and they'll just kind of blank their mind and all that stuff, and they're in certain religions they believe that that's dangerous because when you do that you're leaving your mind open to like evil spirits, to get possessed.
Yes.
So it might be something similar to that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but that book you should check out that book.
Yeah, we should. Maybe we can link it.
No, you check it out. I don't want to read that book anymore. but
okay, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, it's yeah, that was pretty crazy. But you know what? the thing was, after I did that, ever since I had that experience, after that I started having sleep paralysis.
Oh, sleep paralysis! I'm very familiar with that. I've
And
had
that's
that since
the
I was
thing.
a
The
kid,
thing is that
7.
the thing is, it started from that point though. From there on till until now, I still have that issue.
Oh, okay.
And they call it in a lot of Latinos, they call it la subida del muerto.
That's the way because what happens is you have a pressing on the chest, your body's paralyzed, and no matter what you do, you can't get up.
Yeah.
But you always feel like there's some sort of malevolent creature or being around you. It could be, like you said, like the muerte. It could be aliens. It could be vampires. It could be, yeah. It's
I know.
The little incubus, little falling.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, usually it's for female, I believe. And yeah, I'm very familiar with sleep paralysis. Actually, the first sleep paralysis I ever had was actually right here in this room. This is the old house where I grew up in as a kid, right here. And where I'm actually sitting down here on my bed and my brother's bed, where we share one bed here, and I would always get sleep paralysis right here in this area. And when it first started happening, it freaked me out. A little kid, and all of a sudden you're just frozen and you're trying to get out, and it feels like something is holding you down. And that when I was a kid, I thought it was the devil because we're very religious. Mm-hmm. So when I would come out of sleep paralysis, I would always try to wake up, reaching next to me, wake up, man, wake up.
Yeah.
That way he can accompany me at the night, but because I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep. But eventually, I beat it after a few years. I kind of understood what it was, and then I started getting it again when my schedule started changing. I wasn't sleeping right. I was working different hours of the day from different jobs, and I would get the sleep paralysis up in the other house, and the same thing would happen. I feel like there was a being watching me, or there was something going on. And in my early 20s, I would just like start praying, and eventually I would calm down and it would go away.
Yeah.
But then after doing a lot of studying, I know that you're in your REM state, but your mind is still awake, right? When you're in sleep paralysis. Mm-hmm. So you may feel like there's something there that's you, but then after a while you're thinking like, oh, not this again.
Yeah.
So what I do now is I just close my eyes, go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Or if I do wake up and I know I'm going to get it again, I just flip over and sleep on my stomach and it goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny though, because after I found out what it was, like you said, where your mind's awake but your body's asleep, kind of. Mm-hmm. I started realizing that, but the thing is, I started also hearing noises, like when that would happen, my mind's awake, and I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh crap, not this again. But then I would start hearing like somebody running into the room, like footsteps, and I knew somebody was standing next to me, and then I started like what I did to try to control it was I would do like a countdown, like a 10, 9, 8, and when I get to 1, I wake myself up. So right before I would get to 1, you would hear these steps take off running. Mm-hmm. So even though I understand what it is now, when it happens now, I still freak out because of that. And you know what? I'm not the only one that's happened to. There's actually a movie on sleep paralysis called what is it called? Anyways, put sleep paralysis on film on YouTube, and this film comes up of it's a documentary somebody did, like interviewing different people that suffer from sleep paralysis, and all these different people had very similar situations where they would hear somebody run into the room, or they would feel the presence of someone standing next to them.
Wow.
So it's weird. It's weird that
Yeah, I've had that too, but I just ignore it now because I've been having them for so many years now, and as I'm getting older, they're going away, and as I have a proper sleep schedule now, where I sleep at this time and wake up at that time, they've kind of like diminished.
Yeah.
But they don't scare me anymore. But or not as much.
Yeah. Watch it happen tonight.
Well, the thing here, sleep paralysis, that actually happens to 1/3 of the population.
Yeah.
So a third of the
it's
population.
common. It's very common.
Yeah, suffer with sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
So what sleep paralysis is, it's your dreaming brain. The dreaming brain takes control of the conscious brain. Now there's something that's the opposite when your conscious brain takes over and controls your dreaming brain.
Is that daydreaming?
And that is lucid dreaming.
Oh, lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming. I love lucid dreaming. I haven't gotten very many of them.
Is that the ones where you fly and stuff?
Well, you can fly in your regular dreams, but this is the one when you're aware of your.
Yeah. Oh,
dreaming.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like, hey, it's like, wow, like, I know I'm dreaming, and I can do all this cool stuff now because I know I'm dreaming. And you start doing all kinds of cool stuff. You can fly around the world and you can start changing things, controlling things, bring up people, or my leg went out.
Yeah, you know what? I recently had a dream about that.
Mm-hmm.
Lucid dream,
Yes.
and it was funny because in the dream I was like at a shop, and I was picking something up from the shop, and the guy was giving me trouble, right? He kept on giving me the runaround about what I went to pick up, although I don't remember what I went to pick up. But the thing is, he kept on saying, "Oh no, hold on, come over here," and la la la. So at a point, I'm walking out of this room, and in the door there's a poster, not a poster, like a frame, right? And this frame, it has a picture of something. I forgot what it was. But when the guy called me back, I went back, and I was leaving again. And when I was leaving, it was a different picture. It wasn't the same picture. So when that happened, it clicked. I was like, "Oh man, I'm dreaming." But then the thing is, I started looking around, and I see that picture that was missing on a different wall. So I'm like, then I kind of started tricking myself. I'm like, wait a second, was it over there or was it over here? So it was like almost like my dream was keeping me in the dream. Like it didn't want me to know that I was dreaming. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, what some people do is they have a certain ritual of saying something or a countdown, or they look at a clock and they try to associate that with lucid dreaming. So the clock keeps changing time.
Yeah, and the any kind of sign with anything you could read, it'll change too. I've noticed that too. Like if there's a street sign, I've had the ones where there's a street sign, and I look at the street sign, and then I look away, and then I look back, and it's a difference. It says something different, and that's when I'm like, okay, this is a dream.
Yeah, and you have to keep practicing. You gotta keep doing that because just a normal person would just look at that and then just just put it off to the side, because that one part of your brain that understands logic and any kind of thing, anything that makes sense, is pretty much disabled while you're dreaming.
Yeah.
So I guess a little part is awake, and you're able to put that together, and next thing you know, you're lucid.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I think it's cool. I've done so much lucid dreaming, and I just start moving around, creating things. I befriend monsters, and and I go around and I say, "Oh, look at this girl! I want to kiss her." And I go to the next one.
Fantasies.
And then all of a sudden, I created a whole world, but then it gets boring. Like there's nothing happening here. So I've gotten so involved in this dream. I'm like, okay, let's create a catastrophe.
No, you know what's happened to me is some of the lucid dreaming I've done is the flying dreams, and in these dreams I'll start running, and almost like the Superman movie. Remember where he finds out he starts, instead of flying, he jumps long distance.
Right.
So I'll start doing that, and I'm like, okay, I'm dreaming, and all of a sudden I'll start flying, but then I'll be like, wait a second, I can't fly, and I'll start falling, and I kind of end up back down running, and it's just like flying, running. Like I know it's a dream, but at the same time my mind is kind of like doesn't want to accept it.
Right. I guess it's that sense of doubt that brings you back down and grounds you.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how that works.
Yeah. So that's the lucid dreaming. There's also daydreaming, which that's got me. I mean, I do a lot of that, where all of a sudden I'll start thinking, like fantasizing of something. Like let's say I'm doing something really boring where I'm sitting down and I really don't have to pay attention. I'll start thinking like, oh man, like if I had like $1 million, okay, I would be buying this, and I'll see in my mind myself, like either in a fancy car, and the thing is, time just kind of like disappears. Like then all of a sudden you snap into it and you're like, oh crap, like 10 minutes went by and I didn't even know. So that's another type of dreaming.
Oh, okay. Well, they say those aren't really dreams, though. They're more like thoughts of anything.
Why do they call it daydreaming, though?
Yeah, daydreaming are thoughts. Yeah, I guess so.
Bastards.
Yeah, because they're considered thoughts because you're not really going through the REM phase, which is this is the science portion of the show, I guess. There's those different phases: non-REM one, non-REM two, or sorry, NREM one, NREM two, NREM three, and REM. So I guess NREM one is non-rapid eye movement. It's you're transitioning to sleep. You're in between thinking and some dreaming, and that's where you have the I think it's pronounced hypnic jerk. So in other words, hypnic jerk is like when you're about to go to sleep and then you feel like you're falling and you kind of like do this. You startle yourself like that, or you do something and you act it out. Like
that's happened to me where I'll be like kicking something or driving and like I'll press down like I'm driving like on the gas or the brake.
Yeah. So, next thing you know, you're like, what the?
It'll wake me up. The movement wakes me up. Yeah. I mean, why is that though? Why do we have those dreams where we kind of it feels so real that I've had the ones where you feel that sensation of falling, and you'll feel it in your stomach like when you're on a roller coaster. So you get the actual feeling of falling when you're really not moving. Right. So that's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy, but you're not in REM. You're not in deep sleep, because if you were in deep sleep, your eyes would be moving fast, and your body would be paralyzed, and you wouldn't be able to move or do those jerking.
So you're kind of like falling asleep, I guess.
Yes, it's the transition, transition to sleep.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And there's NREM 2, which is 45 to 55% of sleep. That's unconscious thinking. So it's just quietness, just you relax a little bit. And there's NREM 3, slow wave sleep, deepest wave of sleep. 15 to 25% of your sleeping is NREM 3. But REM is the most important one. That's where you have all your
rest.
All your rest.
It's almost like a recharge, right? Like a recharge of your body.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Which is one of the reasons why do we need to dream and sleep, right? It's because it helps you recharge. Like you said, it cleans out your body of antioxidants, whatever you call it. It cleans out your organs, and you can actually die if you don't sleep. If you don't sleep for weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you could go crazy, right? People could. Go crazy.
You can go crazy, or you can go die because you're just going to die of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need that sleep, people.
Yeah. That same friend, George. He's a truck driver. So he's told me that he's had times when he's driving for so long, working long hours, and he'll be driving at night, and all of a sudden he starts seeing what he thinks are what looks like ghosts, people just walking around in the highways, and there's no traffic over there, it's empty, but he knows it's just that he's so tired that he's hallucinating kind of. So I mean, I know the lack of sleep, that's
it's a killer. That's how a lot of these truckers get into accidents. They have to pull over and take a nap at least.
That's right. But in the getting to premonitions, the premonition part of it, I know there's a lot of even now today, a lot of people believe that dreams, the dreams we have are kind of they have a meaning of like either our future or something that's going to happen in the next few days. Even in the Bible, it talked about how there was I think it was the book of Genesis where like Jacob, I think it was, he had a dream that he was going to have two sons, and they were both going to rule over Israel, and it happened. And then the sons had the dream where like it was going to be the fall of their kingdom or something, and it happened.
Oh wow!
So and a lot of the times it also said in the Bible it talks about how God used to communicate with prophets through dreams. That's very, very known. So I mean I don't know.
You get the visions of the future through dreams.
Yeah. So I mean it's possible. Right. It's possible. But I mean at the same time it could have just been dreams. I don't know.
Yeah, but, it could be coming from God, like you said.
Well, I mean, it's possible too that maybe God used, the dreams to communicate through them too. Dreaming is natural, and He used the dreams to communicate through the dreams.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I've had dreams, but they weren't very They weren't really telling me the future. They weren't telling me the future. But I had this one very spiritual dream where it just like all of a sudden, I guess I was having a bad day at school where I was just under a lot of nightmares from all the sleep paralysis that eventually I was so full of stress, and something happened where in one of my dreams, I guess it was an angel. I couldn't see a face, a clearly told face or the body or anything, but it was just a lot of light.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like a guardian angel or anything.
It felt spiritual.
But it felt very spiritual, like very. You're just flooded with all this light and love and warmth. It just felt amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's possible. I mean, nothing's impossible. I do remember having. I know sometimes dreams mean nothing. I mean, not nothing, but they don't predict the future, because there's a dream that I've had since since I was like, I want to say like 18. Because the thing is, growing up, I didn't finish high school, right? And I ended up going to adult school. I got my GED and all that stuff. But ever since that happened, I've always had a dream, maybe once every like 3-4 months, where I'm in school and I can't finish my work, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna graduate. I'm not gonna graduate. And it's always it takes me back to that same feeling I had back then. But
you still get books now, right?
Yeah, I still have it. It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah. It's funny because the majority of us humans, even long after we graduate or leave school, we still have those dreams where we're going to go and take an exam.
Yeah.
Where we can't find the building, we can't find the room, and we finally get there and we look at the test and we don't understand the material because we're like, oh no, I don't know what's going on, so we just wing it sometimes or whatever. And it's just a very, very bad experience.
Yeah,
especially.
But I mean, the thing is in these dreams, it's not just like a dream where it's just like a quick dream where I'm in class and I can't do it. Mm-hmm. It'll be a thing where I'm in class and I'm not doing my work. I go home the next day back in class, so it's like almost like I live in a dream. That's only one night, like a period of like maybe a month.
Wow, like a Groundhog Day for dreams. So for that.
Well, it's not the same thing happening over and over in the dream. It's different days. But I guess it's almost like a countdown to finishing school, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it because I haven't been doing the work. So it's crazy that I still have that dream. And you know what's funny? Who the teacher is in my dream, and in my dream I remember I'm always very disappointed in myself, and I kind of feel like I let my teacher down. Miss Wilbur.
Oh,
Miss Wilbur. If you live here in San Pedro and you went to Barton Hill, you know who Miss Wilbur is. But awesome. Yeah, so she's always the teacher in that dream, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So I know sometimes dreams are just something that happened, and it's something that's stuck in your mind that just reliving over and over. So I know sometimes a lot of the times I believe they're not. Telling your future or mean that tomorrow someone. Oh wait, before I say that, my dream. That's basically it about my dream. But there's I know you've heard about this where people dream a person, and then the next day the person dies, or the person died during the night. And I know a lot of people that's happened to, where they'll dream like it happened to my cousin. She dreamt my grandma the night. Actually, with my cousin. And one of my aunts, and they don't live together. It's different families, but they had the dream that my grandma was sitting at the end of the bed, and then the next day they find out that she passed away.
Wow!
And that happens a lot. I've heard that from a lot of people. So I guess sometimes
like a last visit, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. And they're using the dream too, right? Like God would use the dream. Well, the spirit probably could use the dream too to communicate. Yeah,
which is mine is not that intense, but after I've lost people in my life, I lost my cousin at a young age, and I lost my grandfather several years ago.
Oh yes.
Not even like 2 or 3 days after the passing, I saw my cousin. She passed away first, and I saw her in one of my dreams. And again, she came out, but this time she was a little bit more detailed. She was wearing like a white dress and very angelic. It was like beautiful, one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, besides the angel coming too. And everything was again super bright white. And she didn't say anything, but I felt that she was in good hands, and it was kind of like closure, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Just to see her that last time. And the next one after that, the other dream I want to talk about is my grandfather passed away a couple of years ago, and he came out. But when he came out, he was in like not bronze, but like gold. And he came down, and he wasn't more like an angel. He's just like a spirit, almost like like a gold cutout. I don't know. It's kind of fascinating when you look at it. And
like a silhouette.
He told me to get closer, or actually, I got closer. What was that?
Was it like a silhouette kind of?
No, he's actually in detail, but it was more like a gold color with a little bit. It's just like someone would play like a gold filter on him. And I went closer to him, and he told me something, and I tried to read his lips, but I didn't understand what he was saying. And he was trying to give me some knowledge. Next thing you know, I wake up and like, oh man!
Damn.
To this day, I'm just wondering what he told me, and I don't know what that is. So I was like,
that's crazy.
And then I saw him in another dream later on, and in the second dream, we're all outside at my house here, and everybody has their lawn chairs, and everyone's in a circle, and he's just like he's alive this time. He's just talking to my grandmother, and they're just chatting with each other, and then I wake up. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing those last one of my cousin and my grandfather are just like they're just to say just for closure. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sorry I got so excited right there. I like was mumbling all kinds of stuff all together. Just there's so much to talk about when it comes to dreams and stuff. But yeah, I mean maybe spirits and and other beings use the dreams almost as what would it be like what would you call it, like a conduit, or maybe, like something to communicate through. It's they're like, okay, this is natural and this is a way we could kind of like jump into the lives of these people. But
probably when your mind is most I guess tranquil or open, maybe that's the time.
Yeah,
it's a good theory.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, but what do you have anything else you want? Any more information you have there?
Prophesizing or telling the future or a dream helping you. There's a story in this video, of course, that I mentioned earlier, and I want to share with you guys too. It's about the inventor Elias Howe, and he is the one that invented the sewing machine. Now, Elias was very stumped on how to complete his invention. So he went to bed, and then when he was in bed, he dreamt that he was kidnapped by tribal people whose king demanded he invented a sewing machine within 24 hours. So he had 24 hours to finish this machine. He eventually failed, and next thing you know, they sent him out with the king's tribesmen, and each one started lunging the spears towards him. And he noticed while this was happening that the spears, at the end of the spear, there was a hole in it. And he thought about that. And when he woke up in the morning, he pretty much put that down in this idea book. And within a few hours, he created the sewing needle. And that was the last part of that sewing machine that he needed. So I thought that was a good little, I guess, way to tell the future or give him some sort of insight of what to do next.
Yeah, I think that maybe is more like your mind doing what do you call it, a problem solving while you're sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Because I've actually had that happen to me too. You know how I do the auto mechanics, right? The auto mechanics at school, and there was this one day in class where I had to take this. I forgot what it was, something apart. I had to remove all the hoses, right? And so every time you remove a hose, if there's oil in it, it like pours all over the place, or you have to try to cover it. And I was like thinking, man, there has to be something they could do about this. So I dreamt. I don't know if it was the same day, but it could have been a few days later. I had a dream where I was in the same, working on the car, taking these hoses off, but I had a little like a toolbox, like a mini toolbox that I opened and had different measurement caps that would cover these lines so the fluids wouldn't come out. And the next day I woke up and I was like, of course, a little kit with all different sizes where, you know what size the hose is, you get the cap, remove the line and cap it. And that way you don't get this mess all over the place. So I think
moment.
I think sometimes that's what happens. You're problem solving in your mind while you're sleeping.
Probably,
But I mean,
because there is a part where you're going through REM. I think I forget what it is. It's in the notes here somewhere, buried. That you're going through you're going through a creative phase. So maybe that's what happened with you and the inventor.
Hey, if somebody steals my idea, I want some money. But
that can be right here on YouTube.
hey, now we know if that comes out soon, we know why. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but have you had any other dreams, or have your family, your parents, or something, dreams that have like come true, or?
No. Well, I don't really go around asking. I wish I would go out and do that, but no, it's just I love to dream, because to me dreaming means more sleep, and when I'm in that state of dreaming, it's just, for me, it's like an escape, especially during these times.
Yeah,
it's and especially when it's lucid dreaming, you can just control that.
You know what other dream that I've had that I know a lot of people have, because I had my mom tell me that she had the dream. I've had cousins tell me about that dream. Is the dream where your teeth start falling out.
Oh yeah,
like all of a sudden I'll be talking and they just start falling out, and I'm like, oh crap, my teeth are all falling out. And in Mexican, I don't know if it's tradition, they believe that when that happens, it's because you're gonna come up like into some money, like you're gonna get money from somewhere or something. I don't know if it's true, because I never got any money after that.
That's the one I looked up the most, because that one usually happened a lot when I was a teenager or a kid. Mm-hmm. And I get a lot of different answers from different areas that I look. It's like, I heard the one about the money, then I heard the one about that you're shameful because your appearance, something about your appearance you don't like. Mm-hmm. And then I heard another one about if you lose your teeth, someone in your family's going to die. That's another one I heard too.
So it's like all over the place: money, death, and shame.
Yeah, I dreamt of the teeth. What's the other one? I dreamt of snakes, and snakes have different meanings also. And sometimes it's they bite you, it means one thing. If it has a head on one end and a head on the other end, it means something else. If it's a two-headed snake, there's all different types of details out there. But you can look up all these on the dictionary, which I did actually look up on the dictionary for on my phone, and I actually punched in some of the parts of the dreams that I had last night.
Okay.
And last night I was dreaming that I was going through walking through several hallways. I don't know if it was like usually they're mixed up. There's usually the old Martin Hill School mixed in with the fancy hotel, just a bunch of hallways and rooms. And I was walking through, and there's some people. And as I was walking through, I went through this one area where there's a large, long hallway, but something long like a San Diego glass, where they have the San Diego, what's it called?
The sharks?
The sharks. But instead of sharks, it was a dolphin on this side, and it was following me as I was walking. And then up in the distance, there was another tube with water, and it was the tail of the whale, and you could just see it flapping.
Okay.
But I never got to see the whole thing. So then I punched some of these things.
Does it mean something?
Yeah, I punched in hallway.
Okay.
And hallway symbolizes to dream of a hallway symbolizes self-exploration.
Okay.
The beginning of the path that you're taking in life. You're going through a transitional phase and journeying into the unknown. It also signals spiritual enlightenment, emotional growth, physical promise, new opportunities, and mental passages in your life.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was kind of neat.
No, that's cool.
Then I put in the dolphin. It says, to see a dolphin in your dream symbolizes spiritual guidance, intellect, mental attributes, and emotional trust. The dream is usually an inspirational one, encouraging you to utilize your mind to its capacity and move upward in life. Well, there's more on that. And then the last one was the whale. And there's this part here about just the tail. To see only the tail of a whale in your dreams indicates that you are emotionally balanced. Emotionally balanced.
Is that true?
I guess so, yeah.
You know what? I don't know if you remember. I told you a few days ago that I've had this dream where, well, actually, it's not even a dream. It's the point where I wake up from the dream, and I'll be laying in bed, and I'll look at the corner of the wall, or at the wall, next to me, and I'll see like this thing that looks like a giant spider, but it's almost like a sea creature. It has like a crab look to it. And and when I wake up, I'll see it climbing down or climbing up, and all of a sudden it'll just start fading away till it just disappears. Well, anyways, I looked for some information on that. Like, what does that mean? Yeah. And it means that it's a spirit looking after you. Supposedly, that's what it means. And it says most likely a family member. So,
okay.
Who knows?
So is Maria looking around the door of the garage right now? She's like...
Oh, man. Yeah, but yeah, awesome, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dreams we have that we just kind of ignore. That if we probably looked into them, there'll probably be some kind of meaning to them.
Well, I want to start doing this, and I advise everybody to start doing a dream journal. They say as soon as you wake up, you have 10 minutes to jot down what you remember from your dreams, because after those 10 minutes, your dreams are gone. You forget them.
It's funny it's funny that you say that, because I've had that where like I'll wake up and the dream is nice and clear in my mind, and all of a sudden, doesn't matter how hard I focus, it just starts kind of like vanishing.
Yeah.
To the point where it's just like, oh no, what was it that I dreamt?
Well, you don't have to necessarily write your dream out. You have a lot of voice recorders for EVPs. I would obviously just narrate what you saw.
Keep a digital recorder next to your bed, and just record it. But you know what? I mean, I mean, I don't think that's always true that you forget your dreams right away, because I've had times where I wake up and I don't remember the dream, and like the middle of the day I'm doing something, and all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, I remember what I dreamt last night. Like, you
recollect some part. There's a part of your brain that shuts down when you're dreaming, and that's the part that you have memories in your dream, and you can recollect stuff that's happened to you in the past, but there's no way of recording new information in your brain when you're going through this REM state. But I think you kind of remember certain things because of that, I guess, that subconscious part that kind of puts one and one together. Sometimes, like you said, you might be doing something, you're washing dishes, like, oh yeah, that's right, that was part of my dream. But it's not the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just parts. It's just parts. But yeah, you know what? That whole thing of keeping a digital recorder next to bed, that's an excellent idea. Because I've had dreams where I'll see random numbers, right? And I'll wake up. I won't wake up in the morning. I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and I'll be like thinking, oh crap, okay, 7, 14, 22, and I'm like, I gotta remember these numbers. They must mean something. But then I go back to sleep, and then I forget. About them. So I should keep a digital recorder.
And another piece of advice that some people do is that if they have a really good dream that night, if something good happened to them in a dream, or they just love what's going on, they wake up and they either write it down or they record it. And then at night, when they're about to go to sleep again, they play it back or they read it so that it can come back. Chances are it might not, but sometimes you can recollect that and put it back into your dream.
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch a show or I'm doing something at night and I go to sleep and it comes out of my dreams, whatever I was doing. A little bit of it here and there, but it comes out in there.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, you know what? I the dreams that I really enjoy and at the same time hate are when I have these dreams. I've had these dreams where I'll be with a group of people, not necessarily friends, but just people that sometimes the people I don't even know who they are, but all of a sudden I'll I find out I'm dreaming, and I'll start telling the person like, this is just a dream, this is a dream, and the person will be like, you're crazy, this ain't a dream. I'm like, for real, I'm dreaming right now. And the person will be like, okay, if you're dreaming, then how come I'm saying what I'm saying? And I'm like, because my mind's making you say what you're saying, so I think you're a real person. And
right.
And eventually I could feel when I'm waking up, I'm like, oh crap, that's it. I'll see you later, I'm out.
It's funny how you say that, because that person you were talking to is the same person that, when you were trying to fly and you were flying and then you came back down, when you doubted yourself, that's the person next to you that's the doubt in your life.
Yeah.
Or in the dream. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, it frustrates me that, I can't convince myself that it's that person that it's a dream.
That it wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But we're always fighting with ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it, right? I mean, unless you have something else you want to say about dreams.
Some other cool dream. I was deeply into meditation before. I haven't done it in a while.
Oh, so you used to meditate?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I used
damn.
to meditate too, and just to clear up some things I was going through, and it did help a lot. And I guess I was meditating so much that in one of my dreams, where we're saying dreams are mostly bad stuff, nightmares most of the time. I was driving in a car, and I guess I hit another car, and I went forward. And this is an old car, by the way. I went forward, and I hit the windshield. But your body flies in the movies, supposedly kind of does that thing. But the windshield broke. But before my body can die or collapse and go down, it kind of turned into this. I don't know how you can explain it. Kind of like cloud-like thing, and I started elevating. So I left kind of like that nightmarish scene down, and I started ascending into some sort of like a spiritual realm above, and everything became very, I don't know, beautiful in a way. And I just felt like serene.
Yeah.
Like I was at peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, because I died and I went to heaven, or maybe it's more. This is just a dream. Don't worry about the negative feeling. Think about the positive feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate the dreams where you die, because I've had those a few times. There was this one dream I had where I'm like at some kind of meeting, and we're sitting in these chairs, these rows of chairs, and these guys come in with guns, and they're walking up, back and down the aisles, and I'm like, oh crap, like, no, please don't pick me. But I'll be looking down, and all of a sudden I just feel like the gun on my head, and just a sound, and then I just complete darkness and just falling.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I've gotten when I die, is just falling. I don't feel any pain or anything, but I'm just like falling.
Yeah, you feel like that sense inside too of your body that you're just gone. You're like, okay, it's over.
Yeah,
you have that
scary
feeling. And I've also had dreams too. I don't know if you've had these before, but I've seen in my dreams people get shot. And it is because I watch a lot of like
movies,
and movies. In my dreams, and I've done it several times, where I go up to the person that the villain, whoever it is, has fled. So I go to the person that's been shot, and I just go over to their wound, and I just bring them back to life. And I don't know what's up with that, but I've done that maybe 5 or 6 times in my life. I just bring people back to life. It's just,
yeah, that's cool.
Again, dreams are projected, right?
Hey, you never know. Maybe you'll become a healer one day. I'm just joking. Yeah, I've had those dreams too, where I'll see something horrible happen, like somebody getting like decapitated or something. And I think that again comes from watching so many like horror films and stuff like that. But I'll see somebody like get decapitated in front of me, and it just makes me sick, like sick to my stomach. I feel I don't like those dreams, and I even wake up feeling like it was wrong.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. I wish I had like you, where I just walk up to them and
Yeah, when we were younger, my brother and my cousins, they were telling me, how do you do that? How do I do what? How do you control your dreams? It's like, I don't know. It just happens sometimes.
And you know what? That's funny, because I've heard that from people when I've told people the dreams where you find out it's a dream and you can do anything. And I've told people, and they're like, I've never even heard of that. Like, I didn't even know that was possible. So I guess not everybody could do it.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah. I think that's why our imaginations are so big, because during that era that we grew up watching all these movies that had so much imagination. The Goonies, the Neverending Story, the Labyrinth, E.T. E.T.
Different possibility. E.T. Back to the Future.
And you know what? These were movies. I think films have changed a lot, because I remember watching these movies growing up and having dreams about them, where I'd be the characters in the movies, or not the characters, but I'd see characters from the movie in my dreams. And I talk to my kids now of my experience with E.T., which I talked about on the episode with Layla. Yeah. Where I kept on having this dream where E.T. would come back, right? And I've told my kids about that, and they're like, "That's weird, Dad. We've never had dreams about movies." So there must have been something that changed in movies, because they don't, they're not having these same experiences like we did growing up.
Maybe there's some truth to that. There's a study about people. actually, if you ask an older person that grew up in the black and white ages of television, when they would dream, it's mostly black and white. And you would talk to them about dreams, and you would ask, some of the younger generation would ask, hey, I had a dream about this blue car that came across. And the older generation person that would dream would say, what do you mean blue cars? You dream in color? I only dream in black and white. But that was generations ago. I don't know if it still happens now, but it's less common now. So maybe now that we're shifting from TVs over to maybe tablets or where everything is on demand, maybe the attention span has something to do with it. They're not dreaming about movies anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something.
I don't know. Maybe it's also because I think when we were growing up watching these movies, they had the more of the practical effects, where everything looked real. And now kids watch movies these days. Like my kids watch that movie, a Disney movie called Togo or something on Disney Plus. And they're like, oh, the dog looks real fake, and they know it's computerized. They're like, oh, that's computerized. Right. They could tell right away, like, oh, that's not real. That it's a green screen, and they even say during the movie, oh, that looks too green screen. So I think that kind of takes away the reality, like kind of the fantasy of it, the reality of it. So they know it's fake.
Maybe you should make them watch House when the ex-wife comes out as a big beast lady, and he shoots a shotgun and he shoots her.
House? Is it House?
House. Remember that movie House? Where the house is haunted?
I thought you were talking about, there's another movie called Dead Alive, where, do you remember that one? Where at the end, the mom turns into a giant lady, and her stomach is trying to eat her son.
Oh, wow.
It's called Dead Alive. It's the same guy that made, I forgot what other film he made. Anyway, it's some famous director.
So I'll watch Dead Alive and you watch House.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen House. There's House 1, House 2, and House 3.
Practical effects,
Yeah, but so I think maybe that has something to do with the kids now. I think it's kind of killing the imagination because they know it's fake. And when we were watching these things, I guess it was new, so it was real to us.
Yeah, and kids are a lot smarter these days too.
Well, the thing is, you got to remember. I think they're smarter because we kind of also tell the secret sometimes, or they have, or like when they watch a movie, there's a whole like behind the scenes. Oh, look at this, how we made the movie. And back then we didn't have that. The movie came out and you watched the movie and that was it. There was no like
either in the theater or on TV.
Yeah.
And you never got the making of.
Yeah, because my kids, they'll watch a movie, like even if it's animated, they'll watch a movie and YouTube will have like the making of it before the movie even is released. How The Rock is singing the song in Moana, so they know these are all like it's not real. It's basically. So
when we say these kids are spoiled these days, they really
they get to see all the secrets of the films, So and because I remember I remember watching the movie The Thing in theaters when it came out, and man, the practical effects in that film. That part where the person's laying on the bed and then they put those things on the chest and it caves in and it bites the guy's arms off, and it looks real. So
that's still one of my favorite movies, horror movies. I love that movie.
Yeah, The Thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what's his name? Russell Crowe.
Did you see The Thing, the prequel?
Oh yeah, I saw the prequel. I liked it. I liked it. I saw it.
I liked it too.
Yeah. No, I mean the what do you call it? The special effects, some of them kind of suck. They look really, really bad, but it was a good film.
Yeah, it was.
But
back to dreams, bro. Back to dreams.
I know. Hey, dude, we got to do an episode where we just talk about movies. I love movies. I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what else do you got on the dream stuff? Any more research or any?
No, I think it's just pretty much everything's covered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of time to list down more of my dreams. I wish I could. Maybe in a future episode, we can talk more about our own experiences on dreams and what we've gone through in the past couple of years.
I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it is an interesting subject, and we can go on and on about it. It's just so much to cover, like the science, the spiritual aspect of it, premonitions, and even the Native Americans too. They have a lot of different. Information on dreams.
Yeah. When I was younger, there was certain dreams I used to have, what they call it, the reoccurring dreams, where you have the same dream over and over. But I used to think for a moment, like, you know, when you're young, your imagination goes wild. I used to think that maybe when you go to sleep, you're waking up in the other side, kind of like a Stranger Things kind of thing, like where you fall asleep and when you're dreaming, you're not dreaming, you're waking up on the in the other world, and then when you wake up from that world, you're waking up in this world. It's kind of
like almost like a different dimension or a different place in time.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been you know, like films where they do that where The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, there you go. That was a perfect example right there.
If you die in the dream, you die in real life. But I mean, there's been a lot of films where they talk of something similar to that, where the dream world is just as real as the, you know, where you're awake.
In fact, I think in one of the movies, was it The Dream Master or The Dream Masters, where they can control the dreams?
Oh yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, I believe.
Part 3. That's where I got the idea to say, hey, maybe I can do the same thing. I mean, besides getting killed by Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe I can control the dream somehow, and that kind of gave me like a little bit of insight on that, and to go to sleep and start doing things.
Dude, we had the best movies growing up. Those are the best movies ever. Yeah, but I mean, I have heard of well, I mean, I know you've heard of it too, where people go to sleep and they never wake up again. They die in their sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's the best way to go.
Yeah. Unless you're having a horrible nightmare and you're dying in it. Anyway. Yeah, but I think that's all I got on dreams, Carlitos. Unless you have something else you want to.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's like I said, it's a great subject. I want to come back to this subject and maybe do a little bit more investigation.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm pretty sure we didn't talk about right now that we're not, remembering.
Yeah.
But any last words?
Oh, the poor choice of words, especially with dying in your sleep.
Hey, it's gonna be like Freddy. Remember Freddy in the Dream Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Where remember where the kid turned into like a wizard and he's like killing Freddy and then Freddy's all like, "Sorry, kid, I don't believe in fairy tales." Takes him out.
Yeah. There's one video that I would like to shout out that helped us out with this a little bit of information. And here it is. It's called Dreams. It's a science documentary, and the YouTube channel is called Fire of Learning. And go check it out. It's 51 minutes and 38 seconds long, and it's a lot of good information on there. Like I said, the first half or so or 2/3, it's mostly science based, and later on in the video is where it goes into the sleep paralysis and the nightmare sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming and all that. So yeah, check it out.
Nice. Yeah, and you know what? I just want to do a quick shout out to, now that we talked about, Miss Wilbur. A shout out to Miss Wilbur. I don't know if she's gonna watch this, ever watch this, but
Hey, Miss Wilbur.
Hey, Miss Wilbur, Mr. Norton.
Oh, Mr. Norton.
Yeah, but all right, guys. No, some busy bees sandwiches. The belly buster.
Yeah, watch the rockets, the Challenger, and all them take off.
Oh yeah.
Well, that might be one. That was not good.
Anyways, guys, well, thanks for watching another, this episode, and next week, what are we doing next week? Do you know how we talked about it?
Well, there's several different areas we can go to. But I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be focused on. But let's just let that be a mystery for now.
Yeah.
And
but we will be doing a 12th episode. Unless the world ends, or something. But I hope not.
Well, hopefully it's in my sleep.
Yeah,
hopefully it's not a nightmare.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? Be safe out there. With everything going on right now. Try to stay home. Watch our YouTube videos. Binge them over and over if you have to. Yeah. But yeah, stay home.
Be safe. Make sure you wash your hands and touch your face. If you have to go out just for the necessities, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. Any kind of mask is better than no mask at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Social distancing. Let's flatten the curve.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.